Have you ever wondered how the moon, that bright sphere in the sky, can impact your emotions and decisions? Imagine waking up on a clear night, gazing at that mesmerizing glow and feeling an inexplicable connection. What could it be trying to tell us? Each lunar phase is not just an astronomical event, it's like a cosmic dance that resonates with our inner vibrations. Think about how you feel during a new moon, full of promises and new beginnings, compared to the intense energy of a full moon that seems to amplify everything around us. Have you ever noticed how, on certain nights, your heart races or your mind fills with ideas? The moon can be a mirror of our emotions, reflecting our highs and lows. What if I told you that understanding these phases could transform your life? Are you ready to discover how to align with these natural cycles and use this energy to your advantage? Each phase brings an opportunity. Stay with me, and let's unravel together this mystery that connects us to the universe. How do you feel when the moon changes? Let's explore this now, the impact of lunar phases on human behavior. I've always wondered if the moon really has some influence over us humans. Sometimes it feels like during the full moon the world takes on a different energy. People seem more agitated and emotions are on edge. I read somewhere that this might be more than just a coincidence. Studies show that during lunar phases, especially the full moon, there is an increase in events like crimes and hospitalizations. It's intriguing to think that a celestial body so far away can cause so much turmoil here. When the moon is new, I feel a sense of introspection. It's as if the energy is retreating, preparing to be reborn. Some research suggests that during these periods, people tend to feel calmer and more reflective. It's an ideal time to make plans and focus on personal goals. In fact, many experts believe that this phase is conducive to self-care and meditation. And sleep? Oh, this is an interesting part. Have you noticed how some nights, especially when the moon shines brightly, it seems impossible to sleep? Studies point out that during the full moon, sleep quality can be affected, with people reporting difficulties falling asleep and even more vivid dreams. Sometimes I wonder if this is a matter of perception or if it's really the moon's light that interferes with our rest. It's not just sleep and emotions that change, but also social behavior. During the full moon, it seems like people become more social and open to interactions. I myself have found myself at parties and events that took place on full moon nights, as if there was a common energy pulling us out of the house. This reminds me of how popular traditions have always associated the moon with festivities and celebrations like carnival and other cultural events. On the other hand, during the waning phase, I feel a desire to retreat. It's as if the world is slowing down a bit, and this leads me to reflect. Research indicates that during this period, the incidence of aggressive behaviors tends to decrease, which is a relief. It's fascinating to realize how these lunar cycles can impact not only our individual behavior, but also the social dynamics around us. The moon, with its phases, seems to play a silent but powerful role in our lives. The influence of the moon in popular traditions and beliefs. Since I was a child, I've always heard stories about how the moon affects our behavior and even our emotions. Popular traditions are full of superstitions related to lunar phases. For example, who hasn't heard that the full moon brings out the madness in people? Many cultures believe that during this phase, emotions are heightened and it's common to see more intense and even violent behaviors. This always made me think about how people relate to this natural satellite, almost as if it had a magical force over us. Moreover, popular beliefs about the moon also extend to aspects of daily life, like what to do on certain days. For many, the start of the new moon is a propitious time for new beginnings, while the full moon is ideal for celebrating and reaping the fruits of what has been sown. These traditions reflect a deep connection between humans and the cycles of nature, making me wonder if, indeed, we are influenced by these celestial rhythms. Often in informal conversations, I notice that the moon continues to be a fascinating topic for many. People gather to observe the sky and discuss the changes that the moon brings. This connection, even if not scientific, seems to create a sense of community and belonging, And who hasn't made a wish while gazing at the full moon? This belief in lunar traditions is like an invisible thread that binds us, even though each one has their own interpretation. Popular traditions and beliefs go beyond what we can see. They affect our decisions and actions, even if we don't realize it. For example, some believe that cutting hair during the waxing moon results in more volume and health, while others prefer to avoid such procedures during the waning moon. These small beliefs shape our daily lives and make us reflect on what really matters in the changes we experience. In the end, this relationship between the moon and popular traditions is a reminder that even in such a modern and technological world, we still seek to connect with what is most ancestral. It's almost as if the moon calls us to look within ourselves and remind us that we are part of a greater cycle, where each phase has its role and significance. Effects of lunar phases on nature and agriculture. When we talk about the influence of lunar phases on nature, the relationship with the tides immediately comes to mind. It's fascinating to think that the moon, thousands of kilometers away, has a direct impact on our beaches and oceans. The tides rise and fall in a rhythm that follows the lunar phases, and this makes me reflect on how everything is interconnected. There's something almost poetic about how nature adapts to these cycles. Besides the tides, the moon also influences plant growth. During the full moon, for example, it's believed that plants grow more vigorously, which has always made me curious about how farmers use this information in their daily work. In some agricultural practices, like biodynamics, lunar phases are considered for planting and harvesting. This shows that even in modern agriculture, there's still room for tradition and respect for natural cycles. I've tried applying some of these practices in my small garden. Planting herbs and vegetables according to the lunar phases has become an almost meditative experience. The simple act of observing the growth of plants in harmony with the lunar cycles has given me a new perspective on what it means to cultivate. Nature seems to respond more generously when we respect these rhythms, and the sense of connection is undeniable. Animal behavior is also influenced by the moon. Have you noticed how some animals are more active during the full moon? This has always intrigued me because it seems like the whole of nature mobilizes in sync with the lunar cycles. On full moon nights, it's common to see more animals coming out to search for food or even mating. This observation reminds us that we are not alone in this cycle. We are part of a larger ecosystem that responds to these phenomena. This relationship between lunar phases and nature teaches us the importance of respecting natural cycles. In a world where everything seems to move at an accelerated pace, remembering that there are rhythms we should follow can bring a sense of peace and harmony. After all, nature has always had its own rules, and we, as part of it, should learn to dance to this music. Lunar cycles and their role in health and well-being. Talking about the connection between lunar phases and human biological rhythms, I've noticed that many people, including myself, feel that their menstrual cycles are closely linked to the moon. During the new moon, for example, it's common for me to feel more introspective and connected to my emotions. This phase seems to invite inner reflection, as if the universe were telling me to slow down and look inward. It's fascinating how nature offers us these windows of opportunity for self-knowledge. Besides the menstrual cycle, I noticed that the moon also influences my sleep pattern. During the full moon, I usually have more difficulty sleeping. The nights seem brighter and full of energy, and this interferes with my rest. Sometimes, I stay awake thinking about 1,000 things, as if the moon were calling me to action. Knowing that this might be linked to the lunar cycle makes me feel more comfortable with these variations, as if I were in sync with something greater. The practice of self-care activities can also be influenced by the lunar phases. On full moon nights, for example, I like to perform meditation and gratitude rituals. These moments become more intense and meaningful, as if lunar energy were amplifying my intentions. The feeling of connecting with the moon during these rituals brings an inner peace that I can't explain. It's a way of reconnecting with my essence and aligning my goals and desires. Additionally, knowing about lunar phases helps me better understand how I feel emotionally at different times. For example, During the waning moon, I notice that it's a suitable period to let go of what no longer serves me, whether in terms of emotions, habits, or even relationships. This awareness of lunar phases provides me with a space to grow and evolve, making my psychological and emotional well-being more balanced. This connection with the moon makes me feel part of a larger cycle, and that's comforting. It's as if I were aligned with nature's rhythm, which brings a sense of belonging and harmony. I believe that by understanding and respecting these cycles, we can promote deeper and more lasting well-being, both in ourselves and in our communities. And now, as we reflect on the power of the moon phases, it's time to put all this into practice. Have you ever thought about how the full moon can energize your intentions, or how the new moon is perfect for new beginnings? These transformations aren't just poetic, they can really shape our reality. Imagine aligning your goals with the lunar cycle. What would you like to manifest during the waxing moon? Which old habits are you ready to leave behind during the waning moon? These are moments of introspection and self-discovery that can reveal a lot about ourselves. What if you could harness the energy of each phase to enhance your life? How about starting to jot down your intentions and observations? This could be a powerful ally on your journey. Now, I want to know, how do you feel about the lunar cycle? Has any phase had a significant impact on your life? Share your experiences in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that will elevate your vibration and connection with the universe. The next moon phase is coming, and with it, new opportunities for you to shine. Let's embark on this journey together. As you reflect on the impact of the moon's phases on your life, remember that each cycle brings a new opportunity for growth and transformation. Why not take this ancient wisdom and apply it to your daily routine? The moon can be your ally in moments of introspection, renewal, and celebration. Before we wrap up, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content that enhances your connection with the universe and your personal journey. Leave a comment sharing how the moon has impacted your life. I'd love to hear your experiences. And don't forget to check the pinned comment where I've left a special message just for you. Let's explore and grow together with each phase of the moon.